I was dating my older sister's best friend. Like my sister, she had known me since I was a kid, so we kept our relationship a secret for a long time. She seemed to relish the subtle, forbidden thrill of being affectionate with me behind my sister's back. But I believe true love shouldn't be hidden, and I wanted to bring our relationship into the open, giving her a proper status. However, just as I gathered the courage to confess everything to my sister, I found a man in a bathrobe at my girlfriend's apartment. It became clear that she was only in it for the thrill, and a proper relationship wasn't really important to her. Later, when my sister and her group of friends learned about my girlfriend's betrayal, they all rallied around me. "Alex," they'd said, "who among us isn't better than her? Pick anyone. If you can't choose, we can take shifts with you." My sister had a group of close friends, each with their own unique style and personality. The only thing they had in common was that they were all beautiful and very caring towards me. From childhood, my house had been their gathering place. They would often come over for meals, and sometimes they would stay for a few days. They never held back in front of me. They'd ask me to deliver banana milk to their rooms at night while wearing only sheer nightgowns, and give me hugs before I left. They would often leave the bathroom door open, and, more than once, I had accidentally seen them changing. When I played video games on the sofa, they would sit beside me and ask me to help them put on their stockings. Seeing my cheeks flush, they'd giggle and tease, "Little Alex is so cute, always blushing. Why don't you date one of us? I can teach you more things." Then they would look at a stern-faced Luna, my girlfriend, who was also in the group. "Luna, why are you looking so sour? Are you jealous you can't date Alex?" Luna would force a smile and say, "I'd never be interested in him." And then she'd give me a reassuring look, signaling to keep silent. Seeing Luna endure so much for my sake, my heart would ache. That's why I wanted to confess everything to my sister and her friends, to tell them that Luna and I were officially together. True love shouldn't be hidden, and I yearned for their blessing. "Luna will definitely cry when she sees us," my sister said in a voice message to our group, telling me to grab the gifts we'd prepared. Looking at her excitement, I couldn't help but smile. She might be angry at first, but she wouldn't say too many bad words. Today was Luna's birthday. We were supposed to celebrate together that night, but she claimed that she wasn't feeling well and wanted to rest at home. So my sister decided to surprise her and gathered the girls to go to her place with gifts. I brought a large bouquet of roses and the necklace she'd been longing for. My sister, seeing the gifts, jokingly complained, "How come I never get such treatment on my birthday? You two aren't dating, are you?" Looking into her eyes, I felt guilty and didn't know what to say. My sister patted my head and laughed. "Just kidding. If Luna tries anything with my little brother, I'll never forgive her." My guilt intensified. I hoped she would forgive Luna because it was her birthday and she wasn't feeling well. Standing at Luna's door, my palms were sweating with nervousness. The girls gathered around me, joking about how thoughtful my gifts were and how they expected the same on their birthdays. I smiled but didn't say anything. After the confession, my relationship with them would never be the same again. The door opened. We were all stunned, the happy birthday that we were about to say caught in our throats. "Who are you?" my sister asked, taking a step back to check the apartment number. The person who answered the door was not Luna but a stranger in a bathrobe, his hair still wet. My heart sank. Many unspoken questions swirled in my head. This must be a misunderstanding. At least that's what I wanted to believe. But then a voice, one all too familiar, came from the kitchen. "Honey, who is it? Is it the delivery guy?" My heart skipped a beat, as if struck by lightning. Luna called this man, honey? My sister and her friends were ogling the man who stood before us. Handsome, well-built, and stylish hunk. After a moment of surprise, he smiled politely. "You must be the sisters Luna always talks about, right? Welcome." Well, Luna. Hiding a man in your house without telling us." The girls stormed into the house, startling Luna, who was holding a dish, almost dropping it to the floor. As she looked up, she made eye contact with me, a look of panic flashing in her eyes. While they were all chattering, the man next to me spoke politely. "You must be Alex, right? Kira's brother?" So handsome. I bet all the girls at school are after you. He smiled at me, his eyes so clear that I couldn't tell if he was teasing me or just being nice. And you are? The man chuckled. I'm Ethan. I'm your senior and Luna's boyfriend. After hearing that, I could no longer deceive myself. A wave of sadness washed over me, and my eyes blurred. Alex, what are you waiting for? Give your present to your Luna. Everyone was looking at me with smiles, except Luna, who looked complex. I held back my tears and put the flowers and the necklace on the table. Happy birthday, Luna, I managed to say with a trembling voice. I could only imagine how awful the smile on my face must have looked. It was a horrible feeling, wanting to cry but having to smile. Perhaps to prevent me from making a scene, Luna invited everyone to take a seat. Seeing the lit candles on the table, I smiled bitterly. What was supposed to be a romantic candlelit dinner turned into a crowded and awkward gathering. So the reason you weren't feeling well was just to secretly hang out with your man? Tell the truth. When did all this start? You even kept it from the sisters. You have to treat us all to afternoon tea to be forgiven. The girls surrounded them, teasing them, while I watched Luna and Ethan cuddle, their eyes full of love whenever they looked at each other. It felt like there was a gulf between us. Was this really the same Luna who had watched a movie with me, eaten desserts, gone shopping, and taken photos with me last night? The girl who said she loved me? I wanted to tell my sister, to tell everyone that Luna and I were together, but how could the girl I loved fall in love with someone else overnight? Perhaps she was already in love with him. My phone buzzed, and I saw a message from Luna. Don't say anything. I'll explain it to you later. I looked up at her. She was leaning on Ethan, looking happy, telling her love story. Her face was flushed with affection, and it was all too much. What was there to explain? Luna was the first friend my sister ever had. When we were young, she often came to our house to play. Every time they went out, I would always follow them. Over time, Luna also became like an older sister to me. Back then, Luna didn't really like me, and the most she ever said to me was, "Don't you have your own friends? Aren't you ashamed of always following girls around?" But I didn't understand why. There was anything wrong with playing with my sister and her friend. When my parents went to work, my sister and I were cared for by my grandparents. My sister was like a mother to me, and I was very attached to her. I followed her to all of her schools, so I was always her and Luna's junior, from elementary school to university. My sister's group of friends had grown to include more than just Luna. For some reason, after I went to university, Luna's attitude towards me changed a lot. Every time she asked my sister to hang out, she would always ask her to bring me. She would send me gifts from time to time and prepare surprises for me. When we went shopping together, she would casually link her arm with mine. When drinking bubble tea, she would naturally take a sip from my cup. On Valentine's Day, she confessed her love to me with flowers, under the falling snow. Alex, I've heard you've never received flowers before. I want to be the first girl to give them to you. This is also my first time confessing my feelings. I like you. Can we be together? That day, Luna was so beautiful. The lights made her seem so touching, but I still rejected her and refused to accept any of her previous gifts. She would pretend not to see my distance and coldness. This year, on my birthday, my sister and her friends were traveling and missed their flight. Without my sisters watching, I felt liberated and ended up getting really drunk. When I opened my eyes, I saw Luna by my side. She helped me up and told my friends that she was there to take me home on behalf of my sister. I wasn't willing, but I was too weak to push her away. In the car, she looked at me tenderly and gently stroked my cheek. "You're so handsome. It's no wonder all the sisters like you so much." Then, she leaned closer, her warm breath tickling my face and making me flush even more. "Alex, can we be together? I really, really like you." For a moment, I was sober. I wanted to refuse, but she covered my mouth with her finger. Her eyes reddened as she said softly, "Alex, I know you're still mad at me. I was immature when I was younger. I'll let you take your anger out on me from now on, okay?" I stared at her, speechless. Her eyes were filled with tears as she trembled. "Please, don't reject me this time. Okay. It was snowing outside, and the music in the car was soft. When she kissed me, I didn't even want to pull away. That was the day we officially started our secret relationship. We would often sneak out to go on dates, and we'd engage in little acts of intimacy beneath the table whenever we all had dinner together. These secret and sweet moments weren't so bad, but our love felt like it was stolen, always uneasy. She once said, "If your sister finds out that I'm dating you, she will tear me apart." And then she'd look at me and smile, "But I don't care. I'm not afraid of anything as long as I can be with you, Alex." But on the day I decided to confess everything, I saw her with another man, and all I saw was love and affection. And I was just an unacknowledged secret boyfriend. Even though they were having a candlelit dinner, the food was plentiful. Even though we had arrived suddenly, they didn't seem to be running out of food. Ethan fed Luna gently, and Luna kept calling him honey, as if she had no regard for my feelings. Yet, when my sister and her friends put my favorite dishes on my plate, I saw a hint of displeasure in her eyes. It was so ridiculous. Under my sister's questioning, Ethan started telling them about his story with Luna. They had met a year ago at a school dance. Ethan had fallen in love with her at first sight and asked her for a dance. Luna had refused many that night, but not Ethan. After the dance, Ethan knew that he was in love with her. They had exchanged contact information, but Ethan was too shy to make a move, and Luna had too many pursuers. It was only recently, during a gathering, that they finally shared their feelings with each other, both drunk. It was such a great feeling when I found out that the person I was secretly in love with also loved me. We officially got together after opening our hearts. After Ethan finished his story, the sisters began to make sounds of envy. I frowned and felt a sharp pain in my heart. It's also my fault that I didn't realize she liked me earlier. Ethan laughed. I casually said that I wanted to go to Adam's concert, but couldn't get tickets. Then, on the day of the concert, she asked me to meet her at the entrance of the stadium. She then pulled out 2 concert tickets. I should have known that something was going on, but I was just too slow. The girls started to tease and show how envious they were. My eyes flickered, and I asked, "Are you talking about the concert in March?" Everyone went quiet as they looked at me, and Luna looked panicked and tried to signal me. Ethan, oblivious to the situation, said, "You went too, Alex?" I was silent for a moment and shook my head with a bitter smile. I didn't. I couldn't get a ticket. That's too bad. I couldn't stop thinking about that concert for half a month after that. I couldn't hear what else he was saying. My mind was flooded with memories. Luna had asked me to go with her to see Adam. I was so happy that she was willing to go with me to see my favorite singer. But by then, the tickets were all sold out. I searched the internet and asked my friends. Finally, the day before the concert, I bought 2 tickets from someone for a high price. I was so happy that I went to share the joy with her. When she took the tickets, she looked relieved, not surprised. I didn't understand why at the time. That night, she hugged me and started crying, saying that she had accidentally lost the tickets and that I could scold her if I was upset. My heart ached, but there was no way I would blame her. Now I knew. The tickets weren't lost. Instead, they were tickets to her and Ethan's happiness. It felt like I had swallowed a fly. Luna kept sending me messages to appease me. I looked at the chat logs. They were filled with messages of me asking if she was all right, and her saying, "I love you." None of this belonged to me. I had lost interest in listening to their stories. The bouquet of flowers I had brought was left forgotten in the corner. I lowered my head and began looking at my phone. I had received a message from my junior, Samantha. Samantha was a very capable daughter of a wealthy family and had started working at her family's company when she came of age. In a recent competition, she noticed my talent and invited me to join her for a project. We were still discussing details for the project. Maybe because I was focused on our conversation, I didn't notice Olivia, the mature one in our friend group, peeking at my messages. "Alex, who are you chatting with so intently?" Olivia yelled deliberately, attracting everyone's attention. Chloe, the cute one, pinched my cheek and pouted. "So, you've been dating someone in secret without telling us?" My sister glared at me. "I knew you were distracted. If you date someone without telling me, you'll pay. Luna coughed and looked at me, her eyes panicking. Maybe she thought I was looking at the messages she sent me. Facing the sisters, I felt a strange desire not to deny it. After a pause, I forced a smile. Yes, I'm dating someone. I just haven't had the chance to tell you yet. The room went quiet. My sister's face was dark and gloomy, and Luna looked even worse. Sophia, the gentle one, broke the silence. Alex, it's normal to be dating. Bring your girlfriend to meet us when you have time. Chloe crossed her arms and turned her head away. Yeah, bring her and let me see who has stolen my Alex. I'm so sad that Alex is dating someone, said Olivia with a melancholic tone. My sister said sternly, don't listen to their nonsense. You'll bring her so I can see if she's good enough for you. Luna looked at me nervously, and her hand was gripping Ethan tightly as if afraid that I would expose her. Was she worried that I had found someone else? Or was she afraid I would tell them that we were together and that she had betrayed me, ruining the entire situation? I couldn't tell and I didn't care. Before I could say anything, Luna got up, looking flustered. Yeah, Alex, you need to choose carefully. You never know if she's just gonna break your heart. Bring her over to let us help you check her out. I looked at her, amused. Since we were having a show, I didn't mind adding a little fun. You're right. It is important for everyone to see her. I'll call her. I picked up my phone and made a call. Luna's eyes were glued on me, and I couldn't read her expressions. The call was answered quickly. I took a breath and tried to make my voice sound as natural as possible. Samantha, my sister wants to meet you. Would that be convenient for you? She was surprised but quickly replied in a gentle voice, no problem. See you soon. See you soon. I was surprised that Samantha agreed so quickly. I thought she would have refused. I hung up and texted her the address. While we waited for Samantha, the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Everyone looked at me differently, but my sister's eyes were full of anger. She never wanted me to date because she was worried that I'd get hurt. It seemed that she was right, because I was already heartbroken in my first relationship. Little Alex. I'm so mad. Chloe hit my shoulder lightly. 20 minutes later, someone knocked on the door. My sister rushed to the door and opened it with a dark face. Then, her expression changed immediately. Samantha? The CEO? I guess my sister didn't expect the person to be the main investor for our school's student activity project. She had gotten a lot of sponsorship from Samantha for her shows. Compared to my sister's surprise, Samantha seemed natural and confident. Hi, Kira. I'm sorry for the delay, but I got held up. My sister nodded blankly and replied, no problem. It's good that you're here. She brought Samantha into the house. Everyone looked surprised after seeing her, especially Luna, who looked like she'd seen a ghost. June Jr. Samantha said sweetly, hello, everyone. I'm sorry for the wait. This is a small gift for everyone. She distributed small, branded gift bags to everyone. I heard that it's Luna's birthday today, so I didn't have much time to prepare. This is a small gesture for all of you. Apart from the small gift bags, Samantha had prepared a special gift for Luna, a watch. Luna was reluctant to receive it, but I took it and casually put it on the table in front of her. She stared at me with a dark expression. After a while, the sisters gasped, oh my God, it's limited edition. I've wanted this for so long. This is too expensive. I feel bad receiving it. No wonder she's from the Samantha family. This is such an extravagant gift. I didn't know much about luxury goods, but they were wealthy themselves, so I guess that meant it was really valuable. Samantha continued to smile sweetly. I heard from Alex that you all grew up with him. That means we are family. This is nothing. I didn't expect Samantha to go through all of that trouble for me. I looked at her gratefully. Samantha, you must be busy. It must be difficult to come here while managing your work. I felt sorry. She smiled and said, it's okay. You are more important. I couldn't help but shiver. Her gentle smile made my heart beat rapidly. It had been a long time since someone had made me feel like that. After all of that, Luna still didn't offer for anyone to take a seat. Instead, she scoffed, Junior, shouldn't rich people like you be having an arranged marriage with someone from a similar background? You really don't pick your meals, do you? I couldn't believe how Luna had been saying things just a moment ago, and how she was being so mean to me after she had betrayed me. Luna, that's too much. What's wrong with you? Why are you saying that about Alex? Although the sisters were surprised by my dating life, they couldn't stand Luna saying bad things about me. Even Ethan looked confused. Samantha stopped smiling. I guess I disappointed you then. My family is very open-minded. As for my taste in people, I'm much better than Luna. Then, Samantha turned to me and said gently, to me, Alex is a treasure. My heart skipped a beat again. I didn't want to leave the tenderness in her eyes. Alex, think about it. Why would she ever like you? Luna said sarcastically. My sister tried to speak up for me, but I spoke before her. Who I like and who likes me has nothing to do with you. Luna frowned and said, I've known you for so long. I don't want you to get hurt. I snorted and laughed. She kindly came to celebrate your birthday and brought you gifts. Is this how you treat a guest? And as for who I'm dating, even my sister isn't against it. So please, don't worry about it. I ignored Luna and left her house with Samantha, hand in hand. In the car, I apologized. I'm sorry. I just got angry. Samantha shook her head with a smile and drove me to a hill for a drive with the roof open. It was dark, but the lights in the city were bright, and the sky was full of stars. The night was cold, and I became emotional. I began telling her my story, and Samantha listened carefully. Don't laugh at me, but I'm a joke today. I laughed bitterly and felt tears welling up. Samantha smiled gently. How could that be? Those self-important people are the jokes. You are great, Alex. Never forget that. For some reason, her words made me want to cry. It seems that I failed on my first attempt at love. I forced a smile. Sorry, I got carried away. Samantha looked at me for a long time, and then she said softly, It's okay. You can be yourself with me. Leaving someone who doesn't love you is a kind of freedom, isn't it? The wind blew and I almost heard her say, Alex, I like you. The wind had made my head hurt and cleared my mind. It was a blessing that I was able to move on from the past. Samantha drove me back home. When I was about to go in, someone grabbed me. Alex, are you and Samantha really together? How could you do this to me? Luna grabbed my wrist, looking panicked. She didn't even realize her wrongdoings, and yet she was blaming me. Are you done? I want to go home and rest. I turned to walk away, but she held my wrist tightly. Tell me, when did you two get together? Were you already seeing her? What do you see in her? Is it just because she's rich? I pushed her away and glared at her. How could she be so shameless? After betraying me, she was still accusing me. When you were hugging another man and calling him honey, did you think about how I felt? Were you two already being intimate with each other before we got together? I decided not to expose you, but that was the last time I'd be kind. We are over. I pushed Luna away and went straight into the house. She didn't say anything and didn't follow me. In the living room, the lights were on. The sisters seemed to be waiting for me. They all surrounded me. Alex, were you on a date? Why are you so late? Why are your eyes red? Did someone bully you? The thing about you and Samantha, they started chattering, making my head hurt. I waved my hand and stopped them. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Can we talk tomorrow? They looked at each other and went to make cough medicine and run the bath water. That night, I dreamt of my childhood. On my 10th birthday, my sister planned to take me to an amusement park, but Luna wanted her to go shopping. She came to me and said that she had prepared a surprise. I was full of expectations. Luna took me to her basement and told me to chant spells. While closing my eyes, she said that was how I'd find the treasure she had prepared for me. I recited for a long time. When I opened my eyes, it was silent and dark. I was scared and kept banging on the door, but no one came. I cried and finally fell asleep on the floor. In the middle of the night, Luna finally remembered me. I was so traumatized after that. And that was how I began to have constant nightmares. As I woke up, I heard Luna's cold voice. You are always so easy to fool. You're so stupid. I woke up from the dark room, my body covered in sweat. The next day, I woke up early as usual. Last night, Samantha had invited me to a ball, and I was going. She bought me a suit and told me to wear it today. After coming out of the room, I saw that my sister and her friends were waiting for me. Alex, come eat breakfast. I made your favorite milk. You need to drink all of it. Alex, are you going on a date? You look so handsome today. I sat down and took a sip of the milk. I'm going to a ball today, so I got all dressed up. Hearing the word ball, the girls became excited. I want to go too. Alex, take me. I can be your dancing partner. Who wants to dance with you? He'll dance with me. They were all teasing me as usual, but someone was missing. Luna. After breakfast, they walked me to the door. Samantha's car was already waiting. I waved goodbye to them, then turned to go to the car. Luna appeared from nowhere and grabbed my hand, stopping me. Alex, listen to me. She sounded nervous. You're too naive. Wait until you grow up before getting into a relationship. Those rich girls don't have true love. Don't let her use you. In her eyes, I would always be a kid. I scoffed and said, I know what I'm doing. I don't need your advice. You should take care of yourself. I walked away, but she hugged me from behind. Alex, I know you're hurt. I was wrong. Okay? Can we go back to the way we were? I looked back at my shocked sisters. None of them helped pull her off of me. I was about to break free when Samantha finally walked over and slapped Luna in the face. Luna, haven't you hurt him enough? Samantha used her full name. It seemed that she was really angry. Luna covered her face and said, Why did you hit me? I've known Alex for a long time. We were together 6 months ago. Who are you to him? I glanced at my sister who looked like a storm was about to break, and now they had all learned the truth. Don't I have the right? You are cheating on him, and you're showing it off to him? You haven't hurt him enough? Samantha looked at Luna with contempt. You bitch. Luna finally made a move. Samantha was going to fight, so I went to pull them apart. My sisters joined in as well. It was a quick fight, but Luna was injured, and Samantha's hair was messy. Luna was still not convinced. She wanted to attack again when my sister slapped her. I treated you as my sister. You slept with my brother and hurt him like that? You make me sick. Olivia, I was wondering why the dinner yesterday felt so weird. It turns out that you two were secretly dating. We said we wouldn't compete with each other. Chloe, you're such a slut. You're disgusting. Sophia, Luna, you really disappointed me. After being beaten, Luna was silent and only stared at me, her eyes red. I turned to my sisters and said, I'm sorry. I kept it a secret for so long. I was planning to say it yesterday, but the sisters said, It's okay. She doesn't know how to cherish you. I would take care of you. I said goodbye and got into Samantha's car. I'm sorry for all of this. I looked at her, and she shook her head. It's fine. I was just fed up, so I decided to teach her a lesson. She looked at me and said softly, I'm just upset that you have yet to see me. The ball was grander than I had ever imagined. What surprised me the most was that Samantha hadn't brought me there as her date, but rather to introduce me to some senior professionals in the industry. She said that would help me in the future. It was like she was paving the way for my future. I was deeply grateful for that. After the ball, we had a few drinks. Samantha called a driver and sent me back home. Before we parted, she stopped me and said, Alex, I think you should understand what I'm trying to say. Don't be nervous. I just want you to know that I'll wait for you, and there is no rush for an answer. I hope you have a good night. I watched her drive away, feeling a strange mix of emotions. When I got home, my sisters had made me some hangover soup. Those three said they were so sorry for you. They went home to prepare gifts for you. My heart felt warm. Although the new 3 friends had appeared late, they were good to me. The next day, my sisters knocked on my door to wake me up. When I got to the living room, I saw that Olivia, Chloe, Sophia, and Samantha were there, waiting for me. They were chatting happily with each other. Alex, did you sleep well last night? Samantha stood up and smiled at me. I had a great sleep, I replied with a smile. The girls gave me gifts and told me stories. Then, someone rang the doorbell. When I opened it, Luna was standing there, looking tired. Alex, I heard you drank too much last night. She looked at Samantha and her emotions became intense. She said with red eyes, "Did she stay over last night? It was wrong of me to date someone else, but how could you do this to me? I will always think of you no matter what I do with Ethan. And now I realize that I never really liked him, but only because he was like you." I looked at her, speechless. She was talking about the substitution trope? I was here, and she had already found someone like me? That was so ridiculous. Luna begged me, "Alex, break up with her. I'll break up with Ethan. I'll love you well this time." Luna, how could you come here and say that? Get lost. I don't want to see you. Hearing that first thing in the morning is so unlucky. My sisters complained. I looked at Luna and said, "You always knew what you were doing, but you're only saying all of this because you got caught. We have nothing to do with each other. Please, stop bothering me." Behind Luna was Ethan. "I was wondering why you were so weird. Now I realize that I'm just a substitute. I saw you staring at him while we were eating. Now I understand. I'm just a silly puppet." Ethan laughed at himself and then turned away. Luna grabbed his arm and said, "Ethan, listen to me. It's not like that." Ethan pushed her away. "I have seen your true face. You're a terrible woman. Stay away from me." After Ethan left, Luna tried to get me back, but I called her slut and then closed the door on her. If you leave someone who doesn't love you, you should be happy. Samantha smiled at me tenderly. I looked into her eyes and nodded, yes. For some reason, my sisters said they were going to cook dinner for me. My collaboration project with Samantha was going well, and she had invited me to work at her company. After I graduated, my sisters were working on their theses and graduation designs. They were all very talented, and they received many job offers even before graduation. As for Luna, I blocked her and never bothered about her. At a party, my sisters told me about her. Ethan had been very clear. He left her. No matter how she tried to get him back, he was unmoved. When Luna failed to get Ethan back, she tried to use my sisters to get me back. But the girls were all angry and had all cursed at her. She tried to secretly get me, but they were all angry that she slept with me and hurt me. Luna's unfaithfulness led to her downfall. She didn't get any job offers. Now she spent all of her time drunk. I knew what Samantha wanted, but I was not ready. We worked together, completed many projects, but I was not ready for another relationship, even if everyone was rooting for us. Samantha said, "It's okay. I'll wait until the day you see me." Looking at my sisters who cheered me on, I shook my head with a smile and looked at Samantha with seriousness. I should cherish who's in front of me, right?